Hey everybody, Peek out here in Singapore. It's been a while. I haven't been live in such a long time, but I really do enjoy coming on here and talking to everybody. But today I have a special guest. I have a friend of mine, Samoa, who is a very, very talented web designer, and she is such a joy to be around. She has this great energy about her where she actually really loves teaching and including people in her thought process. So she's really great about the way she teaches. Here she is.
Hey,
Hey,
Mika!
what's up? How are you? Merry
I'm
belated
good.
Christmas. How was your Christmas?
It was great. Guess what?
What? Tell me. Ah! Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you. Have you set a date yet, or are you just like still reveling in the excitement of it all?
We don't have a date yet.
Cool. Awesome. But y'all have been together for a long time now, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Hey, August. So real quick, let everybody know where you're based and a little bit about where you're from, what you're up to, how you got to where you are.
Okay, that's a lot. Hey,
Yeah, it
August.
is.
So I'm based in Tampa. I started my business almost 2 years ago. Actually, that's
Really?
crazy. I started my
Time
business
flies.
2 years ago. I'm a web designer and marketing strategist. So that's what I do right now. And when I started, I was a graphic design virtual assistant who was charging so little for so much and
Yeah.
who was struggling to meet my income goals and who didn't believe that I would actually get to where I am today.
Oh, we love you too, August. So yeah, I know you also are a client of August. I was also a client of August, and she has this amazing ability to kind of like make you believe in yourself. She sees it before you do, which is really, really helpful.
hmm
So
hmm
was there a particular point in your business? I mean, you said you started 2 years ago, but there's always those little things in the beginning because that's where it is. You got to do it one time first before you can figure out, okay, well, what can I tweak and make it better? How did you get over that, like that initial, like that fear to put yourself out there, to put out your first product? You know, obviously afterwards you figure out the pricing, but that first step is a doozy.
Actually for me, starting my business was kind of on a whim. I'm the type of person who jumps off the cliff without really having all everything in order first. That's who I was.
Mhm.
So, I had literally quit my job that day and I was trying to get other jobs and before I quit my job, I was trying to get other jobs,
Yeah.
but I wasn't getting them and I
Okay.
was like getting denied. So that day I just quit my job and I was like, I guess I'm starting a business. So I had already had a portfolio with my designs and
Right.
stuff, so I just kind of tweaked it so it could be more businessy.
Okay.
And then I went in Facebook groups and I was like, hey, I have a business. I'm a graphic designer. If anyone wants to hire me, that'd be awesome. And I got my first client that day.
That's awesome. But see, okay, so yes, you jumped without a shoot, and somehow you believed in yourself so much to the point that it kind of just, you put yourself out there. You didn't just say, okay, I'm starting a business, and you just sat there. You kind of went out there and did. And I think people
hmm
forget that you have to do the work. You have to go ask. You have to, the only way you fail is if you don't ask, if you don't do something about it. So I love that about you. And if you can tell, like, her energy is just sky high all the time. This is who she is all the time. I don't think I've ever seen you where you're in a low point. So I'm actually really, really excited because I actually had you help me figure out like the branding on my site as well. And the exercises you put me through was a lot of fun. We used Pinterest a lot. We actually enjoyed looking through colors, and like the color palette stuff we could do forever, but that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the way you taught, and that was one of those things that I really enjoyed about you. Tell me real quick, from 2 years ago till now, do you feel like you expanded a whole lot, or was it just like a natural progression? Were you consistently jumping without a shoot, or did you find like certain things came to you naturally, it made sense to do this next?
I think for the first maybe 14, 15 months, it was a lot of jumping. It
Okay.
was like, okay, I'm at this level and I'm starting to get comfortable. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is my next level. And then I just jump straight into it. Like, that's literally what it's been. For right now, over the past maybe 6 months or
Hmm.
so, I feel like it's a slow, natural progression,
Okay.
which is different for
Mm-hmm.
me because it's never happened.
Okay.
So I'm starting to get used to it and starting to accept it and embrace it a lot more.
Okay.
And I'm really grateful for it now. But it's just very different. So that's how it is. And I think the biggest thing about business is it teaches you a lot about yourself and how
Yes.
you grow and how you progress.
I've
And
noticed that
it can
too.
be very exciting if you observe it.
Yeah, but I like the fact that you said, you got to a slump at certain points and then you decided you need to jump again. So that's something else. I find that I like my comfort zone a lot and I need to jump a little bit more. Whereas you, like, you feel that feeling, you're like, okay, I've been here a while, I need to do something different. So I love that. I love that you even mentioned that. The other thing you mentioned was, speaking about growing, personally, learning how to do this business, learning where your weak points are and how to go ahead and like strengthen those. I'm not a planner. I'm so not a planner, and I need to be, and I'm realizing that a lot. So as much as I love to go with my gut, I kind of need a plan behind it as well. So it is absolutely true. You really do learn a lot about yourself. How did you manage that? Did you find that you had to pull apart, pull together like a support team, basically people that you knew had the strengths that you didn't, so you could like ask them for help, or how did you manage that?
I mean, you mentioned working with August.
Yeah.
August made me feel taught me how to be more comfortable with who I am
Okay.
and to even leverage my strengths.
Okay.
So the great thing about me is that I do jump and I do like it. I kind of just go with my gut and I go with the flow of things. But the challenge with that is that because I do that, I don't always stay consistent.
Okay.
Because I don't have a consistent strategy to keep me going. I also didn't have the willpower or like do that. Like I get really excited about something new, I do it for a little bit, and then I just stop.
I do that too.
Yeah.
It's like takes time and kind of wears off somehow, and I'm just like, okay, now what do I do?
Exactly. So the consistency wasn't there, and what I came to even learn myself was that like all strategies in business work is just about finding out what works for you,
Yes.
and then sticking with it. Because
Exactly.
I realized that once I stuck to one strategy, I was like, okay, we're gonna try this strategy. We're gonna stick to it for this long,
Right.
okay, and then we're gonna see how it works. And once I started sticking to something, to that one thing, and perfecting it,
Yeah.
that's when things started working a lot better in my business.
That's awesome, though. That's true. People don't understand that just because you find a coach online or whatever, and they have a strategy that works for them, they're selling what works for them because they know it inside and out. Just because you try it and it doesn't work for you doesn't mean it's a failed strategy. It just means it doesn't match your persona and the way you do things. So there's going to be a little bit of investment and failure, but that's how you learn, right? We keep moving forward. We keep trying to, okay, let's try something else that doesn't really work that much. I find that people are really quick to blame their coaches when their business doesn't work, and I hate that, because you really need to look at yourself in the mirror and think about, okay, did I really go all out with what they asked me to do? Did I really try everything that they told me, that could work, before you go and fail? Like, I've tried a lot of network marketing businesses, and I'm going to tell you right now, I did not go out and talk to everybody every day, because there's like a law of averages almost. The more you do, the better your chances are of succeeding, but if you don't hit that, minimum, it's not going to work. So I really love that the way you do things, you're very blunt, you're very straightforward. Even when we were working together, you were quick to tell me, hey, you know what? I'm not sure you're ready for certain things in your business. You need to get these other things set up first. And I really appreciate that, because that means that you're looking at it from a perspective of, not only are you making an income, you really want to make sure you deliver on the value that you say you're delivering. And if you know that that other person is not doing the work, it's not going to work both ways. You know what I mean? So I love the fact that because you're part of August Tribe, because August teaches us that as well, and I feel like I do the same thing. I don't want to take anything unless I'm really giving, value, but I also realize that my clients need to put back in the effort, because I'm not about to sit in a situation where I'm giving and they're not doing the work as well. So I love that. That's a major thing that I feel like I've learned personally as well, and I know you're a big proponent of that line of thought as well. Let's see, 2019 coming up. I know you have a lot of stuff coming in. I know you're working a lot of things. You say you're like, you're steady right now, but I see you doing more than I've ever seen you do before. You're always out there. You always have a post everywhere, and you're kind of mimicking the amount of what is that? I can't even think of the word. How you're in front of your audience always, kind of like August is as well. So I'm curious, what do you have coming out for 2019?
Girl. So I'm excited because I finally embraced the coaching part of myself.
Okay.
Like, fully embraced it.
Okay.
So I'm actually promoting a coaching program in the back end. I haven't been pushing it like in the front end that much, but I am open to coach people for marketing strategy. Okay. So that's what I'm doing. I've signed on a couple of clients with that.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's going to be 2019 yet. I still haven't decided.
Okay.
But I am planning on launching a template store. So
you already have a couple though, right? You already have a couple of those. Okay.
I do. I have a couple, but I want to like do a full launch with it. I just don't know when I'm going to do it. I don't know if it's going to be this year or the year after, but I'm excited for that too. So
I'm glad you said that, because people need to know there are a couple templates out there already that they can purchase and see, the quality of your work. Remind everybody very quickly, what are your most favorite platforms? I know you've worked with WordPress before, but you've been recently it's been with Squarespace or Wix?
I do most of my work on Wix.
Okay.
I think August commented earlier how much she loves her website.
Yes, it's very her.
Website of the year. So that was actually built on Wix, and every time people see my websites, they're like, "That was built on Wix," and it's like, yeah. So right now I'm really into Wix. Okay. Next year I am looking into Kajabi.
Okay, yeah, that's up and coming.
Yeah, it's up and coming, and I also want to focus more on sales funnels, and it seems like an easier platform for sales funnels. So that's what I'm looking into. I'm not recommending it yet because I haven't used it, but Wix is my go-to platform for now.
Perfect. Very cool. So if you're looking for Samoa on Wix, what's the best way to find your templates, just so they can have a look at least?
inkedbysamoa.com. That's my website. You can literally go through it, and there's a tab at the top that says templates, so you can check them out. Yep,
and she actually has a carousel at the bottom of all the websites that she's done for other people as well. I've seen that before. So you can look through, kind of like her portfolios on a carousel. So that's really cool. So let me ask you this. You have web design. You have graphic design as well. Do you also do logos, just in case people are interested?
Okay, so that's like okay, I gotta answer this in the full way. Okay. Because mostly I focus on web design and marketing strategy. Mm-hmm. I will do a logo, but you have to be the right person. And I say that because a lot of people, they just want to get a quick logo thrown together, and that's okay. Like, that's completely fine. Yeah. But I work with people who want a whole brand design and a brand strategy along with their logo. So you don't just want a random logo thrown together. You want something that truly represents your business in the simplest way possible.
So it's kind of like a whole package.
Yeah, it's a whole package. It's not just, oh, Samoa, can I pay you $60 for you to throw a logo together for me? Yeah. Because that's not how I do my work. So I can do logos, but I don't do them often because I don't often find business owners who understand how important the logo is and how important the investment is.
And I kind of feel like that was also important for you to mention. I'm glad you mentioned it of your own accord, because it really does matter who your client is. You don't want one of those clients that is going to, complain the whole time and look for you to fix things but doesn't want to do the work. That's not what a coach is. And I think people really mix those terms up. A coach is someone who's going to help you get to where you need to be, but we're not going to do all the work. We're going to point you along the way and, help you decide those things. We don't want to do the work for you, because at the end of the day, we don't want anyone coming back to us and saying, well, you didn't do what I asked you to do. No, but you need to be clear on what you want as well. So that's really, really important that you set that standard. And I love that. It's hard for people to swallow, but it's a necessary safeguard for us as well as for the brand. If you really want, to bring out the best in your client, they need to understand that this is what you're able to offer, and is that really what they want? They really need to look at it that way.
Yeah, exactly. When it comes to me designing for anybody, I can coach. I'm even particular about the people that I coach, but when it comes to designing for people, I'm very particular about the people I work with, because I need to know that you already know who you are and you already understand who you are, because my job is to translate who you are visually.
Yes.
So if you don't know who you are, you're just gonna make my job so much harder, and I don't want that. So.
Right, but then as you said, as a visual, to bring it out visually, you're not coaching them to find themselves, you're coaching them to represent themselves once they've discovered who they are, or who they are. Yeah.
Yes.
So I really think that's really important for people to understand. And because there's so many coaches out there, and a lot of people, as they decide they want to become a business owner or whatever they're trying to do, they are looking for answers. And there are some of us that are beginner level coaches, and there are some of us that are, there are various levels of your journey where you're going to find the right people to bring out what it is that you need. But you need to understand that a coach is supposed to push you a little bit and encourage you a little bit and help you stick to whatever it is that you've already decided. You've got to decide first, though. A lot of people don't really understand that. There are a lot of people who are selling packages that are very generic, but they don't realize that the client needs to be in a specific place to be able to benefit the most from those things. So I love that you already know all that stuff. You already set the standard. You know exactly the kind of client that you want, and you're not afraid to tell them, no, this is not going to, not going to work for our relationship. So people need to understand as well that while you go out looking for a coach, they also need to accept you as a client. It's a two-way street. You don't just, pay money and get the job. That would be like a PDF kind of thing. But if you actually want to speak to somebody and get some some personal, information, you need to make sure that both of you, both ways, is a good fit. So I really love that you said that. That's really important for people to understand.
I 100% agree. Everything you just said was spot on. I was talking to a client today, actually, and we were, honing in her target audience. Mm-hmm. And she was like, oh, I was like, well, what kind of people would you like to work with? And she was like, oh, I just want everybody's money. I can't work with anybody. And I was like, no, honey.
She'll learn real fast. Not all money is worth the time. So
yeah, I was like, that's really not gonna work. And by the end of our session together, she was able to see who would benefit the most from her packages and her services, and also who would be the best person to pay for those services.
Right.
Just because, for example, she can't target newbie business owners because of what she offers.
Right.
But she would find newbie business owners who would be willing and able to pay her.
Right.
But they just would not be a good fit for her services.
Right.
So we talked about it, and she understood it after, but that's the mindset that a lot of people have, unfortunately. It's like, oh, I just want to work with anybody who's willing to pay me. And it's like, but you want to work with the prime person who's able to get the best results from working with it.
And what a lot of people don't realize is people will pay, but that doesn't mean they'll do the work. I'm guilty of it too. I will buy whatever, $10 PDFs and all of this stuff, but guess what? I have a collection of them, and I can't say that I've done more than 1 or 2 pages of all of that. So as much as we like to collect, but I think it's like as you progress through being a business owner, those are the things you kind of you learn. I want all the information, and then you're like, I'm not going to use all the information. So it's difficult though. It's even as a business owner, you start off as a beginner and you evolve. Yes, you know what you want, but as you start doing those things, you learn somewhere along the way that, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to focus on more of something else that I love to do. But it's always a constant, evolution. And I know you've said that because now you're embracing coaching, and I'm very excited for you. So yeah, it's a constant evolution. It is not static ever. I love that you jump when you feel like you've been stuck in a place for, longer than you would like. And those are things that all of us go through, regardless of where we are in life, regardless of where we are in our business. It will constantly happen. It will constantly push for you to really hone in on what you're really good at. What do you think?
I agree. That's why I say that this journey is the best journey I could have ever started, because it's allowed me to learn who I am a lot more, but also shape who I want to be. And
you get to choose, right?
Yeah, I get to choose, and it's very empowering seeing how you can look at yourself and see who you are and be like, okay, so I like this about myself, I don't love this about myself, and being able to take the responsibility and say, well, I don't love this about myself, so I'm going to change it to this, and working on that. And I feel like entrepreneurship gives you, I feel like because when we're doing our normal 9-to-5s and everything, it kind of disempowers a lot of us. Not everybody,
yes,
but a lot of us. So we don't realize that we actually have the power to become who we want to be and to
Yeah.
create the life that we want.
The genius
So,
that we have is kind of suffocated sometimes because we're working for somebody else's dream. And while you think this is, in your gut, this is the right move, people are like, nah, but that's not what I want. Okay, fine. So this is why we we quit and we start our own businesses and try and forge ahead for ourselves. So I love that. Very quickly, the best way to find you. Are you more active on Instagram or Facebook, would you say?
I post more on Instagram.
Okay.
But I lurk more on Facebook, so I look at people's posts more on Facebook. So I don't know.
Well, okay,
which
so
one.
you can find her on Instagram and Facebook. If you wouldn't mind, it's INKD by Samoa, BYSAMOA, correct? On all platforms. And that's your website as well, INKD, there's no E in there, INKDBYSAMOA.com. August, I love you, thank you so much. If you could give anyone one piece of advice going into 2019, a lot of people unfortunately wait till the end of the year to start something new, but hey, it's just the way it is. What would you give them as one piece of, yeah, thank you so much. What would be the one piece of advice you'd like to send everybody?
Start with yourself. I think there's a lot of stuff going on in the entrepreneurship world. Like, there are so many different brilliant ideas, so many brilliant strategies, so many things that you can do to have a successful business. But I feel like a lot of people can get very overwhelmed with the amount of choices that they have to make. And they're just not sure what to do or which way to go. And some of you probably have tried different strategies and it just didn't work for you.
Yeah.
I completely get that. So I would suggest, and I've gone through it myself, so what I would suggest is that, even before you hire a strategist or anyone to help you with your business, either hire somebody that'll help you understand who you are, or do the work yourself to understand who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, those strategies may work, but they will not be as effective, and they won't be effective for very long because it just won't work with you. Until you understand who you are and what works for you. The strategies, the business, if you build a business and it's not built for you, you don't know who you are, so you build a business based on somebody else's goals and dreams and personality, then it just makes it a lot harder for you to be satisfied and excited by your business. So I would say get to know yourself, because by knowing yourself and becoming your own best friend, it'll be a lot easier for you to make huge decisions in your business.
Exactly. And I think we've touched on that a lot this session anyway. I feel like we spoke a lot about, if you don't know who you are, no one you hire can really help you the way you want them to. So yeah, absolutely. Know yourself first.
Yeah. That's always my number one advice.
I love it. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Please go follow her. I will link it in the description on Facebook. I will post on YouTube as well. So anywhere you find me, you can find her as well, because she is part of my go-to tribe. I actually enjoy asking for your advice. I enjoy all of our conversations. I realize new things every time we talk. So I love it. Well, congratulations again. I'm very excited for your upcoming nuptials, whenever you decide those are. But I'm so excited for you. I'm excited about your business. I love the work that you do, and I appreciate all the help you give. I will catch you again soon. In the meantime, everybody, please go by and follow Ink by Samoa. She is an amazing, amazing personality, and she really does look to help everybody. I love you. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
Bye.